Maybe Kate's not ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Awesome.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. Good morning, everybody. So happy to have you join us on this beautiful summer morning. We are going to kick things off by thanking our sponsors. Our June sponsor is the Franchise, more coffee please, consulting company. Our annual sponsors are MG&E, Marco Technologies, Premier Retirement Partners, and Hilton Garden Inn. If we have somebody here this morning from those places, do one of your high five or hello waves. Thank you so much. It's the support of these organizations that allow us to continue this this event, which is one of our member favorites. So thank you to all of our sponsors. All right, this is one of the last times, I guess we'll have one more after this, where we will be talking about virtual etiquette at this event. As you see, there are closed captions going on at the bottom of your screen. You can turn those off. There's the CC button at the bottom that you can just click that if that's distracting to you. We do a virtual business card swap so that people can make connections. So anybody who registered for the event will receive a spreadsheet on Friday with the participants' contact information, including email addresses. So if you don't want your email or contact information included, please make sure that you reach out to Kristen and let her know that. If she doesn't hear from you, you'll be included. And we just ask that you use this information to make one-on-one connections, not just to simply upload it into your CRM and start blasting people. You know, sometimes that gets a little annoying, and that we wouldn't be able to provide the list anymore. For community events and membership news, there's a lot going on. So make sure you go out to middletonchamber.com, look at our calendar of events. We have created a new page for our nonprofits. We know that there are a lot of really good, fun outdoor activity events that support our local nonprofits. So there is a advertisement on the top of our calendar that you can click on, and it will take you to all of those. You can get your friends and family together and support your favorite nonprofit organization. And then of course, all of our events, and we will continue to update those with the in-person options. We also continue to have our resource page. Not only does it have COVID resources, but it does have other resources out there. So check that out. Our mission is to connect you with organizations and people throughout the community. And so this page will help you do that. And like I mentioned earlier, we have a YouTube channel that has all of our professional development events. So one that was brought up earlier is Canva. Our very own Kristen provided information on how you can create your own social media posts and backgrounds. So check that out along with all of the other fantastic events that we've had over the last year. And with that, I will turn it over to the fabulous Lisa for membership updates.
Morning, everyone. So first up, just a quick plug to follow us on social media. We do post quite a bit, and for the golf outing, I've been posting thanking our sponsors every day, and I really don't know anything about golf. So you want to check it out and see how I'm using some golf puns there, if they're a hit or a miss. Next up is our member milestones. So we do have 13 members with milestones for the month of May. Congratulations to all of them. And thank you to all of our members who renewed in the month of May. Next up, I get to introduce our new members. So the first introduction this morning is Devin from the Aviary at Middleton Market. Aviary at Middleton Market is a brand new apartment complex, and they have sophisticated modern living that's conveniently located near the Beltline and shopping. They're now offering hard hat tours, so if you're in the market for an apartment, check them out. Next up is Mike from Blue Lake Consulting Group. So Blue Lake provides executive and technical search services for organizations ranging from startups to multinational corporations seeking to build really high performance teams. So next on introductions is Andrea from Brand House. And some of you may know Andrea. She has been a past member of the chamber through former positions. But with Brand House, it's a marketing group comprised of freelance professionals that work with businesses on brand strategy and customized marketing plans to complement their individual brand, style, and goals. So next we have Eric from ETS Performance Madison West. And ETS gears their programs toward individual needs. They're designed for all athletes at any ability level from every sport, from beginner sports person to really advanced. Next up is Nikki from Grace Coffee Company. The Grace location in Middleton is really conveniently located downtown and is the perfect place to meet clients, friends for lunch and coffee and brunch, and after work drinks. And after seeing the survey, I know there's a lot of dog people here, and they are dog friendly. So last up for the introductions is Stephanie and Brad from Monarch Insurance Partners. And they specialize in life, disability, and long-term care insurance, and also have a few niche focuses. Monarch Insurance Partners works with established organizations and individuals and can also help the hard to insure. So welcome to all of our new chamber members. So next I get to recognize our ambassadors of the month. So please join me in recognizing and thanking Brian and Angie for all of their hard work over the month of May. So last up for me is microgroups. And if you were just joined us, there is a new one on this list, the Wellness Microgroup with Michelle Jolly. And of course, you can join anyone that's on this list, or if you want to start your own, reach out to me. All right, that's all for me. So I'm going to turn it over to Kristen.
Good morning, everyone. It's so great to have you guys here. Just want to run through some June programming and events that we have coming up so that you guys can mark your calendars. All of these that you guys see on this page are going to stay virtual for the month of June. So on track for this month, we actually have next week, Thursday, and it talks about like digital marketing. So maybe you guys have heard of like pay-per-click, geofencing and geo-targeting and what that means. Big fancy marketing words that we're going to dive a little bit deeper into. We are keeping networking Blitz. So it's our virtual networking where you get matched on a video conference with one other person and you do 7 of those during that 1 hour span. It's a super fun event. We are going to take a look at Wisconsin tourism as a whole. I know today we're focusing on Middleton, but we're going to have the Wisconsin Tourism Department in to talk about, the bounce back. What did we learn from, 2020 and what does 21 look like statewide? And then we round out Business Boost with the 7 most common mistakes that leaders make. So just a really great lineup of events that we would love to have you guys attend with us. With that, then I'm very excited to announce that we will be bringing back Business Social Hour. So mark your calendar for Thursday, June 24th. We're going to be visiting X Golf. So they are located in Greenway Station. We'll be there from 4 to 6. Obviously, you guys are welcome to stay longer than that. They've got appetizers lined up. They're going to do some featured drink specials for us. Just a really great time for us to actually see each other besides just on this computer screen. So we're excited to bring that back. And I know we talked about it a little bit before and you guys got the communication this week, but this is just kind of our plan right now of how we're going to be returning to in-person. So our on-track sessions are actually going to stay virtual. We found that for those programs, it really works well just to stay in Zoom. So we're going to do that. We are going to continue networking Blitz through the end of the year, and those will obviously be virtual. Get Moving Middleton gets to return in person in August. So mark your calendars. We'll be back at the Hilton Garden Inn for those. And then Economic Development will return in person in September. Business Boost returns also in August, and then looking to schedule a few more business social hours for the rest of the year. So we talked about June, looking to set them, I'm setting them up for September and December. So just my best word of advice is just to, pay attention to where that location is listed on the calendar of events. So you can make sure if it's virtual or in person, but excited to start seeing you guys in person again. And then I just wanted to do one plug. I am still looking for monthly sponsors for Get Moving Middleton for the months of November and December. So if that's of interest to you to be able to speak and present to this group, please let me know. I'm also starting to take requests for a month that you'd like to sponsor in 2022, believe it or not. That's starting to fill up. So please reach out if that's of interest. And with that, I'll turn it back to Kate to introduce our speakers for today.
All right, thank you, Kristen. Hey, welcome to all of our new members. It's so great to see you and have you join us today. Thank you very much to Angie and Ryan. As you know, we're a pretty small staff at the Middleton Chamber. We couldn't do it without all of our ambassadors, and we appreciate the focus that Angie and Ryan has given to our members and our organization. And I really hope to see everybody at X Golf. I have to say, it's not just for people interested in golf. They have a full bar. It's such a cool environment. So hope to see you all there. All right, so next up, I want to introduce Erin from the franchise company. Erin brings experience from both sides of the franchise relationship, the franchisor and the franchisee. He enjoys coaching people interested in starting a business and can help you with setting expectations and understanding the nuances and responsibilities that come with buying a company's concept. Erin, take it away. Do we have Erin here?
He was here. He might have had to step away. I know there's some stuff.
I did.
Oh.
I did step away. I'll be in just about 2 minutes, if that's all right.
Sure. How about we'll go on to the next presenter, and then we'll come back to you, Erin.
Thank you. I'm almost done with my moving, guys. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Pay no attention to these slides. I forgot how many there were. Okay.
Okay. Let's move on. We've got Paul from Middleton Endowment that exists to enhance the quality of life in the Middleton area for present and future generations. Paul, a Middleton resident since 1998, has been the Middleton Endowment Board Chairperson since early 2020, and his term will continue through 2021. So, Paul, please tell us more about the Middleton Endowment.
Thank you, everybody, for having me. The Middleton Endowment was founded in 1991, and it partners with the Madison Community Foundation to maximize earnings and create administrative efficiencies. It has, since 1991, awarded over $52,000 to more than 45 nonprofit organizations. You'll see there that there's a grant cycle in April and October of every year, but we also consider grant applications at other times of the year. So if you know of a worthy cause, please don't be shy. Let us know about it. We are a board, we're run by a board of people, and there you see the names. We're excited that Dr. Dana Minogue, the superintendent of the Middleton Cross Plains Area School District, will be joining us over the summer. It's a little bittersweet though, because she will be replacing departing member Perry Hibner. I want to give him a special thanks. We'll miss his brilliant ideas, his limitless willingness to help, and his communications genius, but we will not miss the Duke shirts that he used to wear to meetings so often. You also see your name here. We have an opening. So if you're interested, please let us know. This brings me to our 2021 spring grant recipients. And the first one is Bridge Volunteering. And they were awarded a $500 grant. And they have a video that we're going to share with you.
Hi, Middleton Chamber of Commerce. This is Shani Andler from Bridge Volunteering. Thank you so much for your grant. I really, really appreciate it. Your funds will be used for a project that I manufacture for the Middleton High School kids throughout the community. We have passed out supplies to the homeless community downtown. We have done a bowling event at Middleton Sport Bowl with kids from the community with Down syndrome, and we've packed bags for the Children's Hospital patients. So thank you so much. Your funds will be put to a very good use.
And our next grant recipient is the Madison Reading Project. They received a $1,000 grant for their book and activity kits. The most exciting thing about that is that these kits were delivered by the Big Red Reading Bus. The kits contain arts and craft supplies for special literacy activities with a subject-related book. The Madison Reading Project dates back to 2013, and it organized book drives and holds fundraising events. In 2020, it provided 70,000 books to 31,000 homebound children. The next grant recipient is Triforce Schools. They received a $1,000 grant from the endowment, and they also have a video to share with you.
Hi, Middleton Endowment Foundation. This is Katie Hensel, Executive Director and founder of Triforce Schools. On behalf of our board and staff, I want to thank you so much for your donation to support our Triforce Schools triathlon this summer in Middleton. This will be our 10th year running the triathlon, and we are so grateful for your support to be able to bring this event back safely for hundreds of kids to help us raise money to support our local schools' health and wellness programs.
Next is the 2021 Cecile Drewzba Scholarship that the endowment awards every year. This year's $500 scholarship went to Ava Clark. Ava has a lot to be proud of. She was in the honor roll, National Honor Society, and she participated as a state solo ensemble qualifier. She's also an AP scholar. She's in lots of activities, including Color Guard and Model UN. She's most proud, and we're proud of her participation in the American Girl Benefit Sale. She was part of a team that raised $500,000 for those in need. We wish her the best of luck, and we know with people like her, our future is in good hands. So I just want to thank everybody again for their attention and their support. Grants are only possible thanks to your generosity. I also want to mention that the endowment is planning a night at the brewery later this summer as a kind of show of appreciation for our donors. So stay tuned. We'll let you know about that when the details have been solidified. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for popping in a little early, and everybody please take a moment to go out and check out the Middleton Endowment website that's on your screen now. Aaron, how are you doing with movers? Are you available?
I am. Thank you for your flexibility, and thanks for stepping in, Paul. Yeah, today has been, who knew that when I scheduled to be this presenter today that we would have sold our house and be moving today, and then my wife would also be at the hospital with one of our kids. So it's been one of those crazy mornings. Yeah. All right.
We'll let you take it away.
All right. So my name is Aaron Bach, and I am a franchise matching consultant and broker with the Franchise Consulting Company. We're a nationwide brokerage. I am the only representative up here in the Midwest. And basically, I help professionals, as it says here, fulfill their dream of becoming a business owner. And or people who have a business but are looking to expand or diversify their income streams and income sources. And I also help people who own an existing business that want to grow and are thinking that maybe franchising might be a good alternative way to do it versus having to own and operate all my own locations. So next slide, please. So I'm going to just give you a quick overview on myself, and then I'm going to also just, for those of you who aren't 100% clear on what franchising is, I'll go over that in just a moment as well. I have been a business owner for over 20 years. I've 8 different businesses during that time period, including 2 franchises. So I really do understand what it's like on both sides of the entrepreneurship kind of aisle. I also spent 5 years as a franchise development, that's a typo, director, not direction, for an international franchise group. And I've also helped a lot of people who just wanted to start their own company but didn't choose franchising, figure out how to get it all done. Next slide. This is my personal website. On my website, there's an overview of what it is that I do, so kind of more details on what I'll be presenting today, along with a number of videos. And I have a free resource guide you can download that answers a lot of the critical questions on, okay, I want to start a business. How do I get started? I also wanted to mention that I had actually had hoped this was going to be an in-person meeting, but it is what it is, of course. But I have 2 different free resources. I am going to be dropping by the chamber office, if it's okay with Lisa, Kristen, and Kate. I have a book that's called the Franchise Mba, and it's basically for anyone who's thought about getting into business for themselves. It's every aspect of potentially starting a business is covered in this book. It's by the guy who founded our brokerage. And I have free virtual reality goggles that I will drop by. Again, you're welcome to use them. I have them for free. You basically put your smartphone into these, and any kind of application that does any kind of 3D or virtual reality on your phone, these can be used for. So those are my gift to all of you, which I was hoping to bring today. Next slide. So franchise, moving on, there are over 3,000 franchises in the United States. So the question is how the heck do you choose one? Next slide. So ultimately, a franchise is you're paying someone else who has been there, done that, has usually screwed up a lot of things with their business, fine-tuned the operation, the marketing, the branding, the training, and they're basically selling you a business in a box. And these are an example of some of the brands that I represent. I have over 350 different brands in my portfolio. And honestly, I have almost everything for any kind of interest level. So things you can do from home, business to business, retail type of businesses, and all kinds of home services businesses. Next slide, please. Ultimately, you pay them upfront a franchise fee to take advantage of all of the processes, procedures, and training that they have put together. And once a contract is signed, you're going to basically open up a replica of their business and follow their direction on how to make that business successful. You know, owning and starting a business is hard. It doesn't matter if it's a franchise or an independent business. And I don't necessarily tell people that just because you are buying into a franchise, you're going to be guaranteed to be successful. You still have to work hard. It's still a business. But I do believe with the 8 businesses that I have owned and the franchises I have owned, including the franchise I still own, it is a heck of a lot easier. And you have a giant cohort of fellow franchisees there to help you along the way, which is something you don't have when you're an independent business owner. And so that's one of the reasons why I like franchising. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is just, I wanted to quickly compare starting your own. Ultimately, I'm in the interest of time, I'm going to just kind of move through this, but as I stated earlier, starting your own business is, you have to basically figure it out yourself. That means finding vendors, creating your branding, your whole operating procedures. It takes time. You are going to spend the same amount of money, in my opinion and from my experience, starting your own business as you would with the franchise. A lot of people have this perception of, oh, I got to pay a lot of money up front to be part of a franchise system. Yes, this is true, but ultimately, they've done it all for you. And in my opinion and from my experience, you'll probably end up spending the same amount. The difference is you spend it up front. The franchise versus owning your own business, you'll spend it over time. Next slide, please. So ultimately, again, success is going to be possible with both, but I think franchising becomes that thing for people who are usually at the tail end of their professional career and are looking for their swan song, looking for that opportunity to be self-employed, but not necessarily, I would almost call it like you're being self-employed, but with some training wheels on. It's a lot of support. Next slide, please. And these are just my basic conclusions is that, again, I covered the expense piece. I really don't believe at the end of the day that a franchise is going to be more expensive than owning your own independent business. The difference is simply whether or not you want to create something yourself or if you want someone to help you. And I've covered both bullet points, blah, blah, blah. I will move on. Next slide, please. And so how I do this is I basically I get to know my clients. I ask a lot of questions through a series of phone calls and some online questionnaires. I basically get to the bottom of what makes you tick. I create a personal business plan. This is separate from the actual business plan. And using that, which is basically it's a distillation of all of someone's core criteria of what is going to make them happy and what's going to ultimately help them choose the best business for them. That's what I have to get to the bottom of. And then using all that information, I will look at all of the brands that I represent and determine which ones check off the most boxes. And then I'll talk with the franchise development director, make sure that there's territory availability wherever the client is. And then I'll present the brands and basically pitch them. I've written an executive summary on everything that I represent. And I will help someone understand, here's why I'm presenting this to you. You told me that you wanted this, this, and this, and here's why it's going to work for you. Next slide, please. I've already covered this, but yeah, ultimately it's determining the best options. And then once I have introduced you to a franchise, you'll begin the discovery process with them. And the best part about all of this stuff that I'm talking about is I will never ask my clients for a penny. All of my work and all of my help is paid for by the franchisee, the same way that a real estate agent gets paid by a home seller. But I get the benefit of being able to represent both the buyer and the seller. So ultimately, next slide. I'm looking for people who feel like they don't want to work for the man or the woman anymore. They want to be on their own, but they don't necessarily want to strike out completely on their own. And or that business owner who has a successful business and wants to maybe look at making it a franchise. I've been through that process manually with a brand, and it can be very, very expensive. And we have a sister company that would charge a fee to basically help you get a franchise system off the ground. But ultimately, I think the key thing to leave you with is that as a franchise business consultant, I have a lot of experience as a business owner, and everything that I do is catered to the individual, and it's all free. And here are my contact details. And again, free resources on my website, free VR goggles, and the free Franchise MBA at the Chamber. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aaron, and good luck with your move, and sending good vibes to your little one for hopefully a very short visit to the
Thank you.
emergency room. Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have our friend Claire from Sustain Dane, who is the executive director, a position she's held for over 2 years. In her role, she aims to accelerate a sustainable environment and economy that benefits all members of our community. Claire, go ahead and take it away.
All right, good morning, everyone. Next slide. As Kate said, my name is Claire Olekshak. I'm the Executive Director of Sustain Dane. Next slide. Our mission is to inspire, connect, and support individuals to accelerate sustainability for community well-being. And individuals are what make up organizations and businesses, which is a lot of who we are working with, as well as, of course, there's in your own home and individual actions yourself. Next slide. So we have a goal to move our community, the greater Dane County region, to a more sustainable living. And the challenge that we have right now is, for a very long time, as humans, we've been putting chemicals and products into the environment faster than it can clean it up. We've also been taking from the environment faster than we can regenerate. And what that's led to is a lot of what we hear about is greenhouse gases. In 2018, our community experienced floods, which is an example of more extreme weather events, which is one of the outcomes that we're starting to see. Next slide. So when I say sustainability, I'm going to share with you the UN definition, because it's a word you may have heard but not thought about. And what it means is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. We distill that down into 3 areas at Sustain Dane. It's about the environment, it's about people, it's about equity, and it's also about the economy. Next slide. So the question, okay, get it, where to start and what should I do? And that's what our role is. For 20 years, that's what Sustain Dane has been doing, helping people answer those questions. Next slide. So the first thing we usually talk about is figuring out the why for people. For some people, it's a really personal why, connection to the outdoors or hiking or gardening or having grandchildren and wanting them, to see their future. There's also professional reasons. Next slide. There's a lot of research that's been done about the workforce wanting to have their employers focus on solving these issues. So for employee attraction and retention, also customers we know have more interest in purchasing products. And overall, if you are more innovative and if you are reducing excess, you have a reduction in cost. Next slide. So after that, I would say get involved. Come to one of our programs. We have different topics across the whole spectrum. Coming up, we have a Master Recyclers course. We have a program about carbon neutrality and what that means. We also have volunteering events as well to get outside with others and just kind of be part of the community. Also, if you're not interested or you don't have time, possibly someone in your organization would like to, so ask them. And then we also have what we talk about a lot is picking a first project. So we also have a whole series on thinking about what is a project that I'm kind of interested in starting, because once you do the first thing, you then have a snowball that started and you usually are going to move on to another project. And it's kind of once you have the lens on, you're starting to just really start accelerating that work. We worked with organizations and businesses and have over 600 projects that we've been a part of successfully completing. Next slide. So the research tells us these are the main areas that make the most impact. So if you're going to try to focus in, say energy efficiency and moving towards renewables, food, reducing food waste and reducing the amount of meat consumption, transportation, that has to do with fewer and shorter car trips, as well as airplane trips are still a challenge right now to offset those. Equity, thinking about Right now in our community, we do not have equitable access to basic needs, clean water, clean air, and just equitable access. And we need that because a sustainable community is an inclusive community and an equitable community. And then last one, what I call carbon sinks, which we know as trees. So planting trees, preserving trees, taking care of the natural environment. Next slide. The Dane County Climate Action Plan has a goal to reduce emissions by 50% by 2030. That's coming up. So it's all of us. There's a role for all of us, and working together, they have a very clear plan for us to get there so we can do it. Next slide. So take away from this presentation, I have two asks for you. The first one is to talk about sustainability and climate change with someone else today. We know from research that 79% of the Dane County community believes that global warming's happened, but only 35% talk about it occasionally. And that's a big difference. If this is something people believe in and are concerned about and want to see a solution for, so talk about it. And then the second one is to come and check us out and get involved. Think about that first project and think about a way that you can be part of the solution. Next slide. This is our decade to deliver. This is our 10 years. This is when we need to take action. Next slide. So as we say at Sustain Dane, change happens when inspired people take action. We have seen it happen time and again, and we'd like you all to be a part of that too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire. This is really good information. I think so many of us want to, make a difference, but it's kind of like, where do we start? And so now we know, we go to your website. All right.
And reach out to me.
We'll do it. All right. Last but certainly not least, we've got Middleton's Julie Peterman from the Tourism Commission. She's the director, and it's a position that she's held since 2016. She's a great advocate for our community and keeps her pulse on all things driving tourism to help Middleton flourish. Julie, take it away.
Thank you so much, Kate, and good morning, everybody. What I'd like to do this morning is share some key takeaways from the recent Longwoods International Traveler Sentiment Survey, give you a high-level snapshot of recovery, rebounds, and challenges, and then we'll talk a little bit about getting back to marketing for visitors. So a couple of key takeaways this morning. The first one, as we move on to the next slide, is strong positive travel sentiment is showing steady increase since February, which is terrific. And a lot of this, of course, is due to pent-up demand, which is resulting in revenge tourism or surge travel. Key takeaway number 2 is the drive market and domestic travel are still favored over air travel and foreign destinations, so that's good news for us. Key takeaway number 3, pandemic safety protocols and travel costs are being watched pretty closely by travelers. 4 in 10 American travelers indicate the cost of transportation and accommodations will influence their destination choice for summer travel. An increasing demand for paid accommodations to traditional vacation destinations may result in higher rates. Both concerns can be an opportunity for lesser known destinations to target travelers, keeping an eye on their budget. Also good news for Middleton. And then last takeaway, the impact of rising traveler confidence continues to increase. The impact of rising vaccine rates and falling coronavirus case numbers, hospitalizations, and deaths portend a robust summer travel season. And I think the easing of restrictions around the country is also contributing to traveler confidence and feeling that it's safe to move again. So how's the road to recovery looking? Well, if we move on to the next slide. Oh, one more, Kristen. Keep going. We've been following an assumption baseline forecast from Tourism Economics. And in Q2, they noted that vaccination ramp up, compliance with public health guidance would result in a decline in COVID-19 cases. They assume by the end of Q2, COVID-19 infection rates were low and that leisure travel picks up when we head into summer. All of these have proven to be true. And I'm happy to say that we're showing signs of improvement in our hotel occupancy. However, we have a long way to go before we get to the 2019 levels. They also forecasted that for Q3, group events would be permitted in most areas, though certain restrictions would continue. Corporate travel restrictions would ease up, and the US would perceive to be safe from COVID, and group business travel starts to return. So in the next slide, you can see that this is coming to fruition for Middleton. I think this list of upcoming events is so encouraging for us because it shows a good mix of business travel, sporting events, and trade shows that are coming in the next quarter. Next slide. We do still, however, have some challenges. Workforce shortage is hurting service and the reopening of business. Can we meet traveler expectations? Vaccinations, are verifications going to be required for large events? Are we going to be looking at liability waivers? And how will vaccine hesitancy impact the recovery? And lastly, business travel, we know, is going to be slow to recover for urban destinations 2024 before we see pre-COVID-19 levels. And these are all things that we're working through as we continue down that path to recovery. So turning our attention to our marketing strategies, we know that leisure travel and the drive market are going to be robust this summer. Outdoor recreation is still on the list of desired activities, and visiting family and friends is still a factor for traveling. And we're also seeing an increased interest in attending events and experiences as attractions and venues are starting to open up. So we'll be increasing our promotion of these types of events over the summer. We've resumed our TV marketing to Southern Wisconsin and Northern Illinois. You can see on the slide here, these are some of the activities that we're involved in with that medium. And we created a new commercial, which is welcoming visitors back to Middleton, that we launched in May during Travel and Tourism Week. I will send that link over to Kristen and she can send that out with the follow-up information. And then lastly, just a quick look at some of the campaigns that we're in the middle of executing. Our Front Porch series was a campaign that we launched during the pandemic, and it was very successful. So we're carrying that in 2021 through the remainder of the year. For sweepstakes, we're resuming the sweepstakes via our social media channels and website pop-ups. Right now, we're in the middle of the Middleton Outdoor Fun, which will be ending here on June 16th. And then lastly, we have social media giveaways. These are quick and easy ways for us to engage with followers and to also help promote our local businesses. Last slide, Kristen. I just wanted to mention that we do have a partner e-newsletter. And if you are not on our distribution list, please feel free to drop me an email and we will be happy to add you. And in closing, I just want to thank you as always for your continued support of our marketing efforts and our promotional efforts. I know I blew through these slides rather quickly this morning, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and we can continue the conversation. And back to you, Kate.
Thank you so much, Julian. Thank you for all that you do for the Middleton community and the businesses. We appreciate you. Okay, it's time for FaceTime. So for anybody who is new, this is your first Get Moving Middleton. I'll quickly go through what to expect. So we're going to go out into breakout rooms, into small groups. Each person will go around and say the name and the company that they represent. And then they will answer the question of the day. And please just make sure that you allow time for everybody to participate. So the question that we've come up with this month is, if you were interviewed on TV, what book would be on the shelves in your backdrop and why? So, and make sure that you come back to the general room so that we can end with a couple of announcements. So we'll see you all in just a little bit.
Hey, 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 goodbye. Na, 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 na. Yeah, we're there.
It's a nice bar too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got lots of different options there.
clock is always set to 5 o'clock as well. So
It is.
Yes,
Jen, say hi to Dean Bott for me.
I will.
nice.
All right.
He is definitely up there with bourbon. Not now,
Yeah.
but you know, when you come.
Kristen, do you feel like we have most people back?
Yep, I think we're back.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope that you all got some new reads. Unfortunately, I wasn't a very good contributor to my group, but I got some good ideas from them. So again, thank you to the Franchise Consulting Company for your monthly sponsorship. We appreciate you. As always, MG&E, Marco Technologies, Premier Retirement Partners, and the Hilton Garden Inn are all fantastic partners of ours. So big, huge thank you to them. All right, do not forget that if you don't want your contact information included in that virtual business card exchange, contact Kristen at middletonchamber.com. And a reminder, and be sure to follow us on social media. Lisa is out there being goofy, having fun, meeting with members, and it's always a blast to see what's kind of going on in the community and within the chamber. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you know, all of them. So check us out, and we are looking forward to seeing you all in person in August. Just stay in front of our newsletter and check out our calendar of events for updates. And we will be back in the office on June 14th. Is that correct? Yep. But we still encourage everybody to make appointments. Just keeping everybody safe and you know, keeping things on track. So if you need anything, give us a shout and we can schedule some time to get together. Did I forget anything, Kristen?
Nope, that's good. Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you.